I do with Maricela. Perfect ceremony, love will grow. I do with Maricela.
Hello everyone, welcome to episode 4 of I Do With Maricela. Ever stared at your wedding list and felt your stomach drop? Well, you're not alone. Today we're talking about one of the most emotional yet solvable parts of planning, the wedding guest list. We'll break down how to make decisions confidently, prevent hurt feelings, and still keep your day feeling like it's your day, right? And not a spreadsheet nightmare. Hi everyone, I'm Maricela, wedding officiant and the celebratory storyteller that brings your wedding ceremony to life.
Hello everyone, I'm Henry, Maricela's right hand. I'm here to make sure everything goes effortless for your wedding. And welcome back to our podcast. In this episode, we're tackling the wedding guest list. Yes, you heard it right. The wedding guest list. How to plan it, how to handle family pressure, how to avoid the mistakes and how to avoid the mistakes that cause stress and conflict. By the end, you'll have a simple framework to choose your list with clarity, reassurance, so you can move forward with confidence.
So what are the problems, Henry?
I can tell you one thing from personal experience. The list is one of the most difficult things you're going to have to deal with in a wedding.
Yeah.
Most people don't think that until it's
They're
actually
doing the list.
time to do the list.
Don't we always say if you haven't thought about eloping at least once during the guest list, are you even wedding planning?
Right.
It adds a lot of pressure because a guest list is never just numbers or it's never just names. I mean, it's real people, real relationships, expectations, and sometimes guilt that comes with people on the wedding list or people that are going to be not just part of your ceremony, but part of your entire event day.
I mean, I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but this list literally causes civil war between families and friends.
Yes. Because a wedding list, a lot of the times it is used as a weapon, you know.
Absolutely.
Families want to dictate who they can have there, who they don't want to have there. Well, I don't really like so-and-so, so don't invite them. Or I don't really want to have so-and-so's girlfriend or husband or kids, so don't invite them. We've seen a lot of it happen where the guest list is weaponized. We know
Absolutely.
that. And couples struggle because they're trying to juggle so many things at once, like budget and venue capacity, because capacities of venues is a very real thing. There are fire codes one has to adhere to. A venue has a capacity of 200 people. You can't have 225 people just show up. It's a no-no. They also struggle with the family dynamics and the social obligations of having to invite certain people. Like your grandma wants you to invite her brother who you haven't seen in 35 years and hasn't seen you since you were 2. And now you're forced to want to invite him because grandma will be upset if you don't. Those things happen and they're very real.
Not to mention the budget itself. Typically venues charge per person per plate.
Absolutely. So ideally you want to invite everybody, right? You always want to invite everybody. That's I think an innate feeling that people have. You're going to have a wedding, everyone should come, right? You want to have everybody, but realistically budget and capacity really do limit what you can have and how many people can attend that place. And you also want to think about the vibe of wedding day. What do you want wedding day to feel like? And the number of people does affect what your wedding day feels like. If you have too many people, sometimes couples say it feels lost. Like it was just too much, it was too big. If you don't have enough people, it could feel empty or just not as smooth, not as nice. Right?
I think it all depends also on the couple's personality. Some people, the more the merrier, right?
Absolutely.
While others, the less the better.
Yes.
Right? More intimate.
Yes.
I know in our case, we wanted to make sure that we enjoyed the moment with all our guests. And the bigger that guest list is, the less that's going to actually happen.
Yeah, because the less time that you have to spend with people,
Yeah.
right? You wanna spend a couple of minutes at least talking to somebody that you haven't seen, or just spending time with everybody, stopping by and chatting it up. And with 300, 500 people, realistically, you can't really do that. Right?
Well, and I like to say, for those who have not guessed yet, yes, we are a couple. Yes, we are married. So when I say, personal experience or our wedding, it means Maricela
Ours.
and I. Yes, we are married. We are a couple, and we do work together, and that is by choice, and we love it that way.
It's very cute, though. A lot of people assume that they don't want to assume that we're married just because we're together. Right? Working
all the
right?
time.
Lots of times we're at events, or we're at bridal shows, or we're doing other things. And it is very nice. Obviously, people don't want to assume that we're married, but we are.
Yes.
Yes, husband.
And you were talking about the vibe of the wedding day, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that's going to include, are there going to be kids there? Mm-hmm. That seems to be a very big issue.
Yes, always. Whether to have kids or not, what age limit are you going to place on kids? If you're going to have them
what type
at all.
of venue, right? Sometimes certain venues are
yes.
not designed for kids.
Right, like we had a wedding where it was held at a museum in Long Beach, and this museum was a quite old museum. Kids were not allowed at that wedding for purposes of preserving the museum, and they didn't want children to be touching the walls or touching the books. There were a lot of books there, and in those cases, you understand that, right? For certain reasons. And also too, when you're at a wedding, lots of parents want to take some time off, right? And don't always stay on top of the kids. And so the kids run around all over the place. So it's understandable why at some venues or some weddings, kids are not a great idea, and why on others, yeah, they're definitely welcome, and the more the merrier.
What about the family members that, even though it's a no-kid wedding, they insist on you making an exception for theirs?
Very important you said that, because making an exception on boundaries will create the rule. So you you make one exception, you've created a rule. So you can't say, once you accept one, you must accept all, because they're going to hear about it. Your cousin Sarah is going to hear that your cousin Paul is allowed to bring his kids, and then we'll either say to you, okay, well, can I bring my kids too? Or they won't even say anything at all. They'll just bring them. And they'll assume that their kids are welcome because you said yes to cousin Paul. So be very careful with that. If you make an exception on a boundary, understand that you're making that the rule. So be very, very careful.
So let's talk about the actual list. Right?
Mm-hmm.
How do we actually get started with this list? Let's start with mistake number one. Starting with who can't disappoint instead of starting with that we can actually host.
Yes. A lot of people begin the list with, like I said earlier, with guilt, right? They start thinking about who we cannot disappoint instead of what we can actually host. How many people we can realistically host within the budget and within the capacity. So, and also letting, like I said before, letting one thing, letting one side of the couple dominate the guest list, right? Like in your case, in my case, I have a lot more family, right? My family is much larger than yours. So in those cases, yes, my side is going to have a larger list than your side, right? That sometimes that does happen, but not always. Sometimes both people have equally large families or large sets of friends. In those cases, you want to be fair, right? One side should not overrule the other side, right? You need to have some fairness, especially when they're both equally as large.
Right. Mm-hmm. Mistake number two, letting one side or one person drive the list without a clear shared plan.
Which is what I was saying. that you need to have some rules when you're creating, especially like in your case, in yours and my case. Let's say that your side was just as large as my side. Then we would need to come up with some rules
Right.
as to how many of your side we're going to invite, how many on my side we're going to invite, right? It doesn't have to be a number for number thing, but fairness should always play a role.
What
right?
about, aside from fairness, what about, how active that family or that relative is in the...
Well, those are,
in your-
we're
in
going to
your
talk
role.
about those in a second too, which is creating some rules that can help people decide on who's going to get invited and who's not going to get invited.
Right. Mistake number 3, ignoring the cost ripple effect. Adding guests increases not just plates, but rentals, catering, drinks,
Yes.
seating, logistics, everything. It
People
affects
forget
everything.
That. People forget that when they want to ask you, well, can we just bring one more person? What you're really asking the couple when you do that is, can we flip your whole plan upside down so we can bring one more person here?
Because they're also in the mindset that they're the only ones asking this.
Yes, they're the only ones. And they're not the only ones.
It's not always the case, no.
No, couples have at least 5 requests usually about wanting to bring more people. And it's not just the one person, right? They're not thinking about the rental of the chairs, the extra tables, extra drinks, extra food.
Everything.
Everything matters and every dollar mounts up. So it's not just one more person. It's extra money, extra budgeting, extra planning, extra everything, And generally, I say, if the couple has already told you or explained their guest list, please be respectful of that guest list. And they're trying really, really hard to accommodate everyone and to make room for as many people as they can. They really are trying. So if they've said no to you, don't take it personal to you. It's just that they really cannot accommodate for the extras.
And I think that's the part that really causes a lot of drift between
Yes.
families and friends, right? The taking it personal.
Taking it personal, like it's a dagger to them specifically. It really isn't. And a lot of times too, when people take money or they give money to the couple, they give that money in an expectation that they're going to make exceptions for them,
right.
and they're going to do what they're wanting, and I understand why that happens, but that's still not a nice thing to do, unless what you're offering, the financial contribution that someone is offering, is going to erase the stresses of this couple.
And that's
You're not really helping.
That's a different game there.
Exactly. So here we're going to give you some tips. We're built from capacity, not from emotion, right? Decide on the specifics first. The venue, number one, the venue will tell you what your capacity is anyway. We can have only a max of this many. And budget. So even if your venue has a capacity of 250 people, but you don't have a budget of 250 people, then you must abide by the budget, right? If you have only a budget for 125 people, then that is your starting point. That's your framework right there. Now we can go to another option that they have is making decision rules, like the way that you and I did. You can include people that you simply cannot imagine not celebrating with. Like, these people have to be there. You cannot imagine this day without them.
That's where you start.
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Who absolutely has to be there.
Who has to be there? Like, you cannot, that if they were not there, you may even reconsider changing the day, right?
Right.
Because you want them there. They mean something to you. They're very important to you. You love them. You care for them. You have to have them there.
Right.
So you can start there. Or you can also say, if we both don't know them, they don't attend.
That's fair, very fair.
Okay. Or if we both haven't seen them or heard from them in the last 6 months or a year, then they don't attend. Right. So again, because grandma's going to want you to ask the uncle you haven't seen in 30 years, and he has like 12 family members that are going to come with him. He has the wife, the kids, the grandkids, everybody wants to come. So boundaries are so important and rules need to be in place. This is your day. You must not allow other people to dictate your day. And not only your day, but this is your budget. This is your money. So like I said, unless they're going to be giving you donations, you have to be very strict with what you really, really want.
One thing I'd like to add is you have to be, as a couple, you have to be prepared that some people will not come because they cannot bring additional guests.
Yes. And you have to be prepared to accept that.
We have seen this over and over again.
Yes.
Where,
well, I can't bring 3 more people. Well, I'm not going.
Yeah.
Okay. Then don't come.
Yeah. That's very unfortunate, right?
It is unfortunate that people do like to use pressure or threats or they want to rally other family members also to
and we've seen these. We've seen this from the closest members, siblings, cousins, parents.
Yep.
We've seen that very close up hand with the most intimate members of the family.
Well, you know why that is. It's because they are the closest members of the family. So the closest members of the family feel like they can bully you into you doing whatever they want. Because they are the closest members of your family, because they are your parents, because they are your siblings, right? Because they are your first cousins that you grew up with. But number one, that's not nice. It's not nice to do that to somebody, to bully them or intimidate them or threaten them to either not attend their wedding if they don't do what you want, or to tell other people that they're not going to attend your wedding either if they don't do what you want. It's not nice. It's not nice at all.
And this is where the couple has to stand together as one front.
Absolutely.
Because whichever one of the bride or the groom is being affected by this decision by a relative, it'll really hurt this person. It'll really make him reconsider, maybe even accepting it. But this is where the couple has to stand together.
Yes. This is where you have to give a united front.
A united front.
A united front to your family and to your friends.
That's more important than ever here.
More important than, this is where it begins, really, in the wedding planning process, where people want to tell you what you're going to do, what you should do or shouldn't do. You must have a united front. So you're a couple now, and you're going to be married soon. This is where you start practicing your united front, right? Decide on what you're going to say to people, right? And use that together. Every time something comes up, use the rule that you both created, right? Such as, well, our venue is very limited and our budget is limited. This is what we can accommodate, and that is that, right? We don't have to give everybody deep explanations about everything, but stand on your rule, right? Back it up with a unity. You both decide it, you both say it.
And I don't know, if you ask me, that's one of the best ways to start a relationship, to start a marriage, right? A united front.
A united front,
right?
yes.
And that's where you will first be tested.
And it will be your family and your friends who test you. They just will. They will because they feel like they can, right? Because they have that relationship with you. It's just a way. It's just how people are. It's human behavior. The more you understand about that, the more you can be prepared to answer those questions when they come up. United front, remember that. Well, we can help them by telling them that they can, their buckets, right? The invite buckets that they can do. Must invite, like close family and key friends, right? Those people that we talked about earlier that you cannot envision not celebrating with, like those should be in your bucket. The other bucket is they're important but flexible, right? And then the last bucket is it depends on capacity and budgeting. So when you're doing your guest list and you're creating your RSVPs, create your RSVP deadline for your guests early enough to where you can see if you do have room and if you do have the capacity to invite other people.
Yes, because not everyone will be able to make the date.
No, they won't.
Unfortunately.
Yeah. So if you have people in your last bucket, right? So it depends if you have availability. You need to make your RSVP deadline earlier, so that you see if you can fit more people in. If you wait until too far late into the party planning, you're gonna miss it. And also, let's remember that people don't RSVP on time. Just because you gave them a date doesn't mean they're gonna honor that date. There's some people that you will have to chase. You will have to ask, you will have to call them, you'll have to text them. Are you coming, yes or no? Are you coming, yes or no? That happens.
And as a couple, you shouldn't have to do that, but the reality
you shouldn't have
is
to do that, but you do.
there's always a few.
And you will.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Even though you have everything worded and everything is listed, it's in bold and it's underlined and everything is easy for them, you will still have those people who are not going to follow the rules. And why don't people follow rules? Because they're your family and they feel like they don't have to follow rules. Or they're your friends and they don't feel like they have to follow rules, which is not nice, by the way, on part of guests. But please be mindful. This is a very stressful time for people, and they're trying to make an experience enjoyable for you, the guest. So the minimum that we can do is be respectful of those rules that they set. So be nice.
Mm-hmm. Speaking of list, I mean, our son is getting married soon, and they're in the process of this list.
Yeah.
And they're already going through the issues we're discussing right now.
Yeah, it's hard. It's a difficult one, right? Because again, you want to host everyone. You want to have everyone there that you know and that you spend time with and that knows your fiance probably, and you want to have everyone, but realistically you just can't, right? Just it's not such an open field where you can just have everyone show up, and it's hard.
Absolutely.
What is another thing or another solution that you can have while you're wedding planning when you can't invite everybody, right? But you still want to celebrate with everyone that you know, but you can't realistically invite them all to the wedding. What you can do is either create or invite them to other small gatherings or parties, to the other extended guests that you're not able to invite, so that you can still celebrate with them. And those could look like anything, how you normally hang out with them in the first place, whether it's a backyard thing, a beach day maybe, brunch, whatever the case may be. And let them know that while you're not able to invite them for the wedding because you have limited space and budget, but they're still important to you and you want to celebrate with them. So invite them to these other little parties. They don't have to blow the budget. They can be very low-key things. What matters is spending time with them and being with them and letting them know that they matter. Because sometimes I think that's what hurts people's feelings, is feeling like they don't matter.
We're being left out.
They're being left out. You don't care about me. You don't like me as much as I thought you did.
I'm not as important as I thought we were. No, but I really like that backup plan there. So like that, you still get to celebrate the moment with everyone.
Yeah.
I like that. I like that as a backup to something that can also be budget friendly, right? Where it can be, like you said, backyard gathering, a restaurant, a beach, something to still celebrate the moment with all your friends and family.
Yeah, absolutely. It could even be just movie night at the house in the living room. I mean, it doesn't have to be expensive or lavish in any kind of way. It's just you letting these people know that they do matter to you and you like to spend some time with them, celebrating this grand event in your life. What I will say though, while we're talking about this, is I understand that some people invite guests that can't come to the ceremony or to the dinner, but they'll invite them to the dance afterwards. And they do this to save money.
You mean, breaking it up?
Breaking it up, right? I understand the sentiment behind that, but do understand that it does make people feel a little funny when you do that. You don't want me there at the most important parts of your wedding, but you do want me there at the cocktail hour, at the dance.
We've seen it a few times. It's not too often, right?
It's not too often, but we have seen it.
We have seen it, and it is a bit strange.
what happens is that it hurts people's feelings, because you're inviting me, you're asking me to bring a gift, but you want me to come for the dance part, which is after the ceremony, after the dinner, after the whole thing, but you're still asking me to bring a gift. I do understand why people do that, and I know you want to save money and you want to save space, and by the time these people come, somebody has already left, so it leaves chairs available. But be very careful with that, because it does make people feel like they don't matter, like they're not important enough for you to invite them for the whole day, so you're only going to invite them for the last portion of the day. And still specifically say what to bring as gifts. That's a little...
I think they'll definitely know at that point that they were at the end of that bucket of the list.
They'll know.
For the ceremony. Yeah, absolutely. There's no way to hide that one.
No, you can't hide that one. And personally, it feels a little insulting.
It can, absolutely.
It can. Even though the intentions were good, right? The intentions were good, and they want, and I get it, they want to save money. I so do understand that. But just be careful about how that feels to the recipient. Like, before you say that to somebody or invite somebody like that, feel how that would feel to you.
How it would make you feel, right? Personally, yeah.
Personally, if someone that you really liked or care about, or you're good friends or whatnot, you've known each other for a long time, if they invited you to their, I don't even know what's called. To the party? To the dance?
The end.
To the end, I don't know. Yeah. But see how that feels to you, and if you would be okay with that, and if that feels good to you, because I'll tell you from experience, the few times that we have seen it happen, it doesn't feel good to the person receiving that kind of invite. And oftentimes that person opts not to go at all because their feelings are a little bit hurt about not being invited to the whole thing, only to the last part of the thing.
Right.
So be very careful with that.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so we're at the rapid fire segment here. So Maricela, best wedding advice.
Choose a guest list strategy that fits with your budget and your relationships, and then stick to it. Stick to it. Stick to your guns.
You guys got that? You got to stick to the list and stick to your guns.
Yes. You've made the decision. Now stick with it.
One front. Very important. One front.
Absolutely.
Biggest wedding mistake couples make.
Trying to please everybody instead of deciding based on real things like capacity and budgets and shared rules, right? What the priorities are. Those matter. You made those decisions based on those things. Now stick to them.
Yeah. One thing couples should skip.
Making exceptions. Making exceptions. Like I said before, when you make an exception once, you are creating the rule. And people are creatures of habit, right? You do one thing, they're going to expect for you to do it again and again and again and again. Be very careful with that. You created a rule. Again, stick to it.
Absolutely. Wedding tip of the week.
Pick a rule today. Go home after work, sit down with your fiance, with your partner, and pick a wedding rule for your guest list. Whether the rule is we haven't seen them in 6 months, we haven't spoken them to in a year, these are the people we must have, we both don't know them, they're not coming. Pick a rule. Pick a rule and then stick with it and create your waiting list based on that.
Nice, okay. And closing and call to action. Biggest takeaway here, it would be?
Though your guest list is a planning tool, not a negotiation forever and never ending, right? This is why rules are important. It's a tool, and it's not supposed to take months and months and months and months. It is going to take a few weeks because it's going to be tough. I'm not going to tell you that it isn't, but it shouldn't take longer than a month for you to pin down that guest list.
Yeah, and I know it sounds, from before you even start on this list, it sounds very simple.
It sounds
like,
simple.
oh, we know who we like.
In theory, yeah.
Right?
Totally simple.
we're here to tell you it's not.
It's not simple.
And then also, isn't it always going to be more than the number we have in our minds?
Always.
It's always more, right?
It's like 50 more than that, generally.
Let's
right?
say let's say you're thinking like, oh, we don't know that many people. We don't have that much family. Maybe like 75 of us or so is what you put in your head, right? As an example, it'll be closer to about 100 minimal. If you have that kind of number, it's always a lot more than what you think. So
Yes.
go over this list, do it together, because it will be
More than you think.
more than what you think, definitely.
And there will be people that you just forgot about. People
Right.
that you
That matter, right?
that
People that
matter,
are important,
but you
but
forgot about them initially, and it happens. So yes, if you started with 50, you're gonna end up with 75.
much more. Okay. And so, if this episode helped, share with other couples who are stuck on their guest list, and follow, subscribe, and so that you don't miss out on the next episode.
So from our hearts to yours, thanks for listening, and stay kind. I am Maricela.
I'm Henry.
With
Love
is
is
everything.
everything.